All right. If it doesn't go over, I will succeed.
Don't worry, we're good.
Okay. All right. Okay. You're good people, so we're gonna be okay. All right. So let me start with this. So as we talked about last week, we talked about good friendships, and we talked about social health. We talked about communication and good ways of communication. So I thought we'd start with a little game. You all can play this. It all has to do with what we talked about last week, so even if you weren't here, it's okay. All right? So this is stand up, sit down. Have you played stand up, sit down?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so stand up, sit down. Well, start sitting down. Okay, so stand up if you have ever had a friend that's given you life-changing advice. Life-changing advice. Wow! 5 of you, that's impressive. Okay. Do you believe friends should be brutally honest?
Yes,
Like,
but no.
whoa.
Yeah.
Like, oh, your hair looks so bad today. Like that, or like,
I don't know.
Like, I think you should go to the mirror and check your hair.
Oh, good. Okay,
Like
Ella
that.
says maybe you should
Well,
just
that's
say
what I
go to
was
the
like,
mirror and
that's
check
what
your
I
hair.
was
I mean, if you guys are
Okay, but you all want brutally honest friends. You want friends that are going to tell you. Okay, all right. Do you believe that people hear you better when you yell? Stand up.
What?
Do you believe that people hear you better when you yell?
Wait, does that mean like
It's like feeling
listen?
that I just
Are we
talk.
talking about listening or hearing?
I don't know. I think it's very interesting that the two of you are
Nobody
still
listens to me when I'm just talking.
No, listening.
You don't.
I'm listening to you right now.
How many? Okay, let me ask this question. It's not on my slides. How many of you stop listening when somebody starts yelling at you?
Oh,
Yeah, I do that. All right. That was what I was going
about
for.
listening.
Do you believe apologizing is a weakness?
Wait,
Whoa.
too much.
Stand up.
Too much.
Stand up if apologizing is a weakness.
Wait, no, it depends. Because if you are apologizing every blessed second of your life,
Okay.
stop.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm in a way.
I know.
At a
But like,
point,
if you actually, like,
it
if
sounds like
you're
you're
giving up sometimes.
Okay, all right.
That's
That's
if you're like,
What?
Oh, that did work. Okay. So listen,
No.
what I meant was you did something wrong and you're going to apologize. Not the person who apologizes constantly. But I hear that.
Like, if you're
that.
apologizing
That's
constantly,
gonna be-
it's like, okay, you can stop. It's okay.
Okay. Wow, guys, this is just a game. I didn't think this was going to be the. Okay, do you have an embarrassing nickname that your family calls you or has called you? No?
Yeah.
There's only a couple that are sitting down. Wow. Okay, I would love to hear those sometime. Okay, have you ever accidentally called your mom and dad by your teacher's name?
Yes,
Yeah.
I called you Miss Time for a run times.
I promise, Combo.
Okay, wait, that's the next one. Have you ever called your teacher mom or dad? No, Reagan's like, no. Okay. All right, everybody sit down. Do you believe in unconditional love?
What does that mean?
Unconditional love. Doesn't matter what, they're gonna love you.
Yes, people should be not.
No.
Interesting.
Absolutely not.
Like, you
Are
can't
you
say
a
no.
no person? Stand up.
No.
If you stop talking, they'll hear me. If you're a morning person, stand up. I have a couple morning people. That's very exciting.
Wait, I didn't know.
No, Chloe, you're not a morning person? Okay. Do you have a close friend that sometimes annoys you, but you still love them?
All of them.
Wow, Rick, you have a friend that annoys you?
Oh, I don't annoy you.
Okay, all right, last question. Do you have a close friend that always gives you good biblical advice? Do you have a friend like that?
Yes. I took me a second. Whoa.
Awesome, good. All right, awesome, sit down, that was fun. All right, so this is gonna lead us into our topic for today. We're gonna talk about peer pressure. We're gonna talk about guy-girl relationships, just a little bit. Don't go crazy. We're not gonna talk about dating per se, we're gonna talk, you'll see. It's more about how to keep yourself from being emotionally hurt, okay? We are gonna talk about dating at a later time. I almost said at a later date. At a later time, okay. So my goal for you today is to clearly understand positive and negative peer pressure, We're going to explore the wonderful, wonderful world of guy-girl relationships. We're just going to start that. And then we give you 4 tips on how to keep yourself from being emotionally hurt. I'm hoping to get to all of those things. And then the last one that I would love to talk about are 4 different areas of respect. We will see if we get there today. That is my goal, okay? So I'm going to talk as fast as I can. But to start, let's start with some memes. Memes? What do you meme? No, just kidding. I'm sorry. That was very funny. All right. I just totally embarrassed Petro. Okay, so these are my memes about peer pressure. Peer pressure is knowing that something is beyond stupid and going ahead and doing it anyway. Have you seen that movie? Yeah. All right, this is peer pressure. Just try it. You're gonna love it. I promise. And he falls in and he can't get up. Okay, I loved it because it was a puppy and I thought that was fun. Okay. All right, so let's define some terms, okay? So peer pressure. So somebody define, without reading my very long definition, tell me, Bren, what is peer pressure?
Acquaintance is appears an acquaintance for somebody that you're around throughout the day.
Peer pressure. That's what peer
Oh,
is.
well,
What's peer pressure?
Pressure is when said peer wants you to do something that you don't necessarily want to do, but like you feel like to be in school or something with them,
Okay.
you have to do it.
Yeah, okay, to be cool or to get in with them?
Yeah.
Okay, Liz?
So peer is like a person that gets you like surrounded around us, or like
Uh-huh.
a friend or a family member.
Yep.
And pressure means that like the peer kind of tempts you into doing something bad. Well, most of the time, like the majority of it is like bad.
Okay.
But then you still do it anyways.
Okay, good. One more. Ella.
Like they're trying to convince you to do something because they like it.
Okay.
And they would tell you that you'll love it.
Okay.
You think you're
So let me tell you a story. I grew up with 3 older brothers, and peer pressure was a very real thing. Amy, do you feel this? Yes. Okay. So no matter what they did, they would take me with them, and they would try to convince me that it was a great plan. I mean, we're talking about jumping off bridges, sliding down things that are going to hurt me, you know, those kind of things. My younger brother, he's not younger than me, but he's the youngest in the group. He convinced me that it would be really cool if I tested all the batteries in the house. Do you know how to test batteries? Oh, stick them on your tongue. Does your brother do that? So no, this is old school. Remember, I'm old. So you stick the battery on your tongue, and if it zaps you, it's still live.
That's nice.
And this was cool. I thought I was like the coolest kid around. Like I would sit on the floor and test all the batteries for him. Which does tell you something about me, right? Like I'm a little gullible. Okay. So let me give you my definition. It's not mine, it's Webster's dictionary definition. So peer is one of equal standing with another, so an equal. So you're all peers together here. Especially one belonging to the same social group, based on age, grade, status. Your companion, if you want to be really fancy, you can say compadre. Okay. Pressure is the burden of physical or mental distress. Sometimes we feel pressure at school, don't we? Yes, those teachers put pressure on you to get work done. So the constraint of circumstances or the weight of social and economical imposition. So the stress of urgency or matters that demand your attention right away. So when we put these things together, it's that pressure or that stress you feel from each other. So there are lots and lots of ways that you can feel this stress and pressure, but we're going to look at just a couple. Okay, so I'm going to put you in a stressful situation. No, I won't put you in a stressful situation. So let's talk about negative peer pressure. That's the one you all mentioned. So the one that you're talking about is somebody over here said, where they want you to do something that you shouldn't do. I can't remember who said that, but anyway. Somebody said that, you know, if somebody's trying to pressure you to do something that you shouldn't do. That's negative peer pressure. This is when you feel others are encouraging you to do something that doesn't please God or is harmful for you. This is straight out of the book. This isn't rocket science. Positive peer pressure is the opposite. So this is what you feel when others encourage you to do something that gives God glory and it's good for you. Have you felt positive peer pressure? Oh, good. I've seen some nods. I also think that somebody's going to fall asleep on me. Don't fall asleep on me. Okay, this is a quote from the book. When you invest in, that should say healthy, relationships. You surround yourself with positive influences of good friends. A bunch of you said that you have a friend that always gives you good biblical advice. That's awesome. That's positive peer pressure, right? So positive peer pressure with the positive influences of good friends. As a result, the negative peer pressure isn't going to affect you as much. So we all have negative peer pressure. We might not all have positive peer pressure, depending on who you're hanging out with, right? Where you're spending your time. Okay, so here's what I want to spend a little bit of time on. I'm talking really fast, I guess. But. So the Bible has a couple things to say about peer pressure. So let's do this. Before I tell you mine, somebody give me an example in the Bible. Should we go to positive first or negative?
Negative.
Negative. All right. Negative peer pressure in the Bible. Dana.
When Peter,
Peter.
when the other Jews came, he was sitting with the Gentiles.
Okay.
But he felt pressure to because he thought the other the Jews would think badly of him.
Yes.
So, he,
Wow. Yes. So and what did he say? I can't remember. Because he was talking about but he was sitting with Gentiles and he was trying to give himself space. Like, oh, I was just good. Tegan.
Even the garden ate the fruit.
Eve. Negative peer pressure was who? The serpent. Right. Chloe.
Parents and when people were maybe they were going back.
Yes. Okay. Great. That's a great one. So the people of Israel pressured him to make an idol, and he makes an idol out of gold. Do you remember that? The golden calf, and they worshipped it. That's right.
When Jesus gets arrested and Peter denies.
Oh, okay. So Jesus is being crucified.
And Peter denies that he knows him because all the people around him
Yes.
did.
That was the one
They were
that
no, that's bad.
Yeah, and then he denied Christ 3 times. Good. All right, let's do positive ones. Can you think of any positive ones in the Bible? Positive peer pressure. Some really obvious ones. What do you think? Are you unsure?
I'm gonna go in there,
Be brave.
I don't think it is.
You don't think it's positive?
I don't think it's
Peer
peer
pressure.
pressure.
Okay. Do you want to share it anyway or no?
Just sharing this. Maybe.
I thought
We won't laugh
the
at you.
the Boaz and Ruth and Hannah and Naomi where she wanted to go back and talk to him.
Yeah.
And
Oh, okay, so I don't know that I would call Naomi a peer of Ruth's, but she was definitely a good influence, right? And she gave her all this good advice. That might go into our respecting with authority. Taylor.
And Jesus asked his disciples to follow him.
Yeah, okay, so positive peer pressure, the biggest one that we see in scripture is when the disciples followed Jesus, right? So those 12 guys were the closest of friends. So positive peer pressure doesn't always work either, though, does it? Because we see a huge example of that in Judas. Judas starts pulling away and becoming secretive, keeping stuff to himself. And so all that positive influence around him didn't help. But it was positive peer pressure. They all had some positive peer pressure. They were in a time when that was not normal. The Romans and the Pharisees, all the people that were against that. Well, if you've watched The Chosen, you really see that. Okay, Proverbs 13:20 says this: whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but a companion of fools will suffer harm. So this is just telling us what it's going to be like. When you choose your friends, whoever you choose, you're more likely to become like them. And then Galatians 1 verse 10 says this: for am I now seeking the approval of man or of God? Or am I trying to please man? If I were still trying to please man, I would not be a servant of God. So this is Paul, right, who writes Galatians, and he's saying this is so important for us to understand, right? We want to please God above man. All that peer pressure around us. Maybe it's positive, but maybe it's negative. Okay, so we're going to get a little practice in. So if by chance you still have another book out, which I'm sure you wouldn't have out, I am going to break you into your partners. This is a great chance for positive peer pressure. Liz and Petra will be positive peer pressure for each other. Each of you are going to get one of these. Your name needs to go on the top and your partner's name. But I need yours back. Each person needs to give me one back, okay? On the back, there are a couple of case studies. We'll call them scenarios. I'm going to pass these out. Then I'm going to read you these scenarios. We'll read them together. And then as a pair, you guys are going to try to fill this out to the best of your ability. Each column should have at least 4 things in it, and you turn it into me. And then the bottom is your own thoughts on this. The bottom says, what are some ways teens can deal with peer pressure? These are your thoughts. I want a $10 answer, not a $1 answer. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Yes, sir. Yes, please do. Yeah. All right. So your partner should be either right behind you or right next to you.
Go over our desks.
You can turn your desk. I will call you back when I am ready to be done. Here's yours. All right. Stay as focused as you can.
It's fine. I'm gonna go look
All right, and if by chance, I'm going to read the scenarios for you. If it helps you, listen, if it helps you to read along with me, that's why I put them there. So they're on the back. All right, scenario 1 is this. Jill came from a broken home. She lived with her dad after her parents' divorce. That was 3 years ago. Then she transferred to a Christian school. She never felt like she really fit in. It seemed like the other girls had perfect lives and that she was just a screw-up. Her sophomore year of high school, she met Olson. Olson transferred to their school because he had gotten kicked out of his public school. He was the kind of guy that was always pushing the rules. When he met Jill, they had a quick connection because they came from the divorced home. He came from a divorced home as well. Jill really enjoyed his company because she felt like she didn't have to pretend or be a goody two-shoes. It wasn't long before the two of them were a couple, but unfortunately, the two of them started pushing the boundaries and got into trouble on numerous occasions for skipping class together. Now, you don't have to answer this case study or help her. This is just supposed to give you ideas for the front. Let me read scenario 2 to you. Scenario 2 is about Samantha. Samantha was having a rough year. Samantha, are we comfortable? I don't even know Samantha. Okay. It's Frozen. That was the first thing I thought of. Oh,
Samantha.
You don't like Samantha? Oh, poor Samantha.
She's sad.
She's sad. She's having a hard time. Okay.
Full hair.
All right, guys, I'll work on my pictures, I promise. Okay. Samantha was having a rough year. It didn't start out great. See? It didn't start out great. She got sick on the 3rd week of school and had to miss 4 class days. Then she finally returned on Monday of the next week. She felt completely overwhelmed. Anyone ever felt like that before? It was only the first month of school and she already felt like she was so behind. She felt like giving up. But then she met Jane and Ruth. She happened to sit with them at lunch and they were so friendly to her. At the end of lunch, she told them how she was feeling. Jane, who loved all things math and science, said, I think we have a study hall together on Tuesday. I can ask the teacher to let us work together. Then Ruth, who is great at English and the arts, she said, hey, you know, I don't have volleyball practice today. Do you want to hang out after school? And I'll try to catch you up on English. It was a little thing, but this lunch turned Samantha's entire year around. All right, so, yes, okay, well, good job, Jane and Ruth, right? All right, so on the front of your paper, each column should have at least 4 things. Work with your partner on it. And then at the very end, when you've got all your 4 things, you're going to have liner. On the very bottom, go ahead and write me a nice $10 answer for this. A $10 answer. Not a $1 answer. A $10 answer. Okay. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. You only have a few minutes. I want to get to those guy-girl relationships. Oh, it's not. Yep, thank you. Good
Wait,
question.
are we choosing one and then doing it?
No, you're doing all 4 of those columns.
Yeah, I know.
You're not, nope, they're just helping you, those scenarios are just to help you think through positive and negative peer pressure,
No.
to give you ideas for your chart.
Okay, don't pay attention to Mary Smith.
You need to work positive. Hold on, yeah.
So it sounds like no.
Work together, see if you can come up with good answers.
Peer pressure.
Oh, wait, is it, are we ready? But wait, how about like big questions? Are you writing like things about the
Yeah, so what are some examples of peer pressure, positive and negative? And then what are some impacts of peer pressure, positive and negative? Good, we'll let them see you all, how's that?
Is this based
It's
on?
my crazy class.
What's up, brother? Oh, hi.
What's up, brother?
Is this?
Yes, I'm listening.
Is this based on the story? No, it's not.
The stories are just to help you kind of think through positive and negative. All right.
What actually it kind of looks like you.
Positive, encouraging, K-Love.
Stay focused, you'll be a few minutes.
Okay, so like encouraging them to do the right thing.
Your grade on this graphic organizer will be 4 things in each slot, and a $10 answer at the bottom.
Can I just like what if we like write software that start with $10? $10.
You can try it, and see what you get for a grade.
Wait, this is graded? Dude, I need my history.
And what's the last one?
At least 4 in each column.
4.
But you can do this thing once, so talk together, help your partner.
And then we can one more.
Good.
Love teachers.
Good influence.
Wait, what?
Okay, and then positive. You like, you'll be better in life.
You jump over that bridge.
No.
Your answer at the bottom, your answer in that bottom, that's your own.
Have better morals.
Petra, that answer at the bottom is just yours. She's gonna write her own.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
We're talking about top.
Oh, okay.
Better talk during class.
Yeah, better. You'll be a better. You can be a good influence.
Negative on exam.
You can be a good influence, and you do these things, and are encouraging to others. That's what I'm going for.
Reagan and Taylor, are you actually talking to one another?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I just didn't hear it. You're so nice and quiet.
We said it, we were talking.
Okay.
You can be an influence today.
Yep.
I feel like I said influencer.
Yeah, let me throw it.
You can be a good influencer.
All right, so each column of your organizer should have 4 items in it. Positive peer pressures, things that can be positive, things that can be negative, and then positive impacts.
Not one.
Well, I was looking actually to this one first. And so,
Hold on, the encouraging Caleb.
did you have like some impacts of cause? We can do it if you make friends.
I follow the rules. Let's my students can do it.
And I just wrote, and I wrote enjoy.
Oh crap. Somebody spelling.
What do you have? What do you have as your best? I'm still working on this one, so we can keep.
Good. Just a few more minutes.
That's not a bad, that's not peer pressure.
Well, you could be.
Play and watch a movie. Watch Sausage Party.
So specific.
Watch a bad movie that your parents said no to.
Oh,
Be involved with a bad movie. watch a bad
I did, I chuckled.
Okay, for negative, I'm gonna say no about watching or reading about it.
Yes, I see it.
What if you don't want it?
We'll do our best.
Yes. And adults
I will, I
watch
will
it.
give you time to finish it.
What?
There's some ways, I don't know how to do
Yes.
Like, I've never,
It's really good for you to think about it though. It's great that it's easy for you, it might not be easy for your partners.
I know that's what. Thank you guys.
So then you can be the positive difference.
Oh, I didn't write my name on it. Oh, wait, so there you go.
Not yet.
Oh, great. History time.
Did you write me a $10 answer on the bottom? And are all the letters, words actually spelled out?
I actually have to check for that. Give me a second.
Do not write like you text in my thoughts.
Okay, yeah, it's good, don't worry. And there's periods and capitalization.
Right, and like a good rectangle, can I write how I chose? Was it small? I said, oh my gosh. Okay.
Down here?
No, the top one.
Yeah, there's two. We're just making a list.
Yeah.
So do the best you can.
Oh,
I know it's small.
I abbreviated.
Oh, that's okay.
There's a word
You know,
like.
this is Raj.
Do you know how hard I've been working on that? So even though there's a word bank?
All right, go ahead.
Do you not like when people abbreviate?
I don't mind abbreviations. I don't like it when you write the letter U for the word U.
Extra go to.
You know what I'm saying? All right, you should be writing your $10 answer by yourself. You don't need your partner for that.
You said correct. Those are two different things.
You can just keep it like that.
Okay, so when you are all done, you can come and put your paper up here and you can grab a piece of candy. Right over here.
Mom, I appreciate it. Sorry.
Did you say you appreciate me?
I said I appreciate it.
Okay.
So yes, I guess I do appreciate you.
Why are we being filmed anyways?
All right. Try not to knock my camera off.
No, I'm joking. I would never, guys.
That would make the people very dizzy.
She can wave to the camera. Hey guys.
All right. Good. Quietly go back to your class.
We're in class.
I mean, your desk. Go back to your desk when you're
Can I
done.
throw this away?
Because people are still finishing up. Yes.
Yeah.
And yes, you may eat your Hershey Kiss or your. Sorry. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Oh, I didn't know.
Don't forget your name at the
I
top.
just want to Starburst.
Did you not want it?
Oh.
Bring there's chocolate. You don't
Was
want
that butterscotch?
I have my Invisalign on, so.
Save it for later. Or give it to a friend.
Is that butterscotch?
Yes, you may.
Where did my pencil go? Oh, there we are. Wait.
All right, go ahead and finish up as quickly as you can.
It is,
Extra points if it's big enough for me to read it.
Taylor, do you get Starburst?
Lucy, sometimes I have to zoom in. Like I have to take a picture and zoom in so I can read her handwriting. All right,
Can we close the doors? Okay.
she's gonna be right back.
Your reaction was like just enough.
All right, I am going to continue on. If you're still writing your $10 answer, go ahead and finish. And when you bring it up, can you go to the back side of the camera instead of the front side of the
Do
camera?
not like us.
All right. So really, no, pause. This one will come back soon. All right, so Lee, turn around and go ahead and finish yours on your desk. Okay, you can finish it after. Okay, go ahead and do that. All right, so I want to talk very quickly about. I want to talk about this, and I'm going to talk through it really fast. This idea of when your relationships kind of change from just being friends, and you're feeling like I should have a boyfriend, or this guy-girl relationship is kind of changing, and it's different, and it's weird. And we're going to talk about it more, and it'll be much more awkward in the future. But I wanted to talk about it really quickly because it's here. So this is straight from your book. So if you go to chapter 8 for me, Chloe, can you go to chapter 8 for me and tell me what page this is on? That'd be great. So the first thing is to keep guy-girl relationships, for now, keep them as friends. If you don't want to be emotionally hurt, this is the absolute best way to keep that from happening, right? So you're in a group, you are friends together.
We didn't finish together, but can I finish it a little?
Yes. 165, Chloe says. So get to know the other person. This is what they call, do you remember they called this solo dating or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
And that was a very strange term. It was on our homework sheet and everyone was like, I have no idea what this means. Well, it was right in your book, but the solo dating is the idea of just being friends, getting to know each other. Maturity, this is you maturing. You figuring out who you are and where your boundaries are and what your identity in Christ is, okay? And then understanding and knowing what your parents' dating standards are. This is really important. Lee, come and sit.
What is this?
That's a hug. It's white and dark chocolate together. They're called hugs instead of kisses. All right. Hey guys, I gotta finish this. Okay, so fill your love tank with something other than guy-girl relationships. All right, so fill it with family, fill it with same-gender friendships, those friends that are really close, that are your BFFs, that you can't live without. That's what you want to fill your love tank with. The last is to stay active. So when you are doing things together, do things that are active. Don't do something where you're just sitting there and staring at each other. We don't have anybody doing that too much in this school. So athletics, hobbies, youth group, these are all just ideas they have in your book, okay? Again, we're going to talk about this in greater depth later. I want to get to respect. Discuss dating with your parents. This is really important. Madeline, go ahead. This is really important. Make sure you are on the same page with your parents. Be willing to talk and listen. You're going to have lip liner if you keep doing that.
It's just a habit. I'm not trying to have lip liner.
Well, you're going to have pencil lip liner. So, all right.
I always do that.
So, dating. Have the discussion with your parents. Okay? Don't be afraid to do that. Talking to them, but also listening to what they have to say. Okay? Almost every one of you said that one of your parents is one of your favorite people to talk to about things. And so let this be one of those things. Okay? Lee, I need you to be quiet. Okay. Respect. I really want to hit this really quickly. Please go to page, it's right after that. What? 166 starts talking about respect. There are 4, is it 166?
I don't know, probably guess about that.
Okay, I'll find it. It's okay.
No.
I should have had this open. All right.
Is it 168?
It is on page 189. 189 says how to lift each other's up in a put down culture. All right, let me cover this really quickly. There are four areas of respect I want to talk about. I think it's really important. First is your family. So having a good, healthy respect for your family, obviously for mom and dad and their authority, right? But this also means your siblings. So your attitude and how you choose to express yourself is extremely important in our families. I would say that this is probably where it breaks down for us the most, right? This is where you get comfortable and you talk without thinking or you're really rude. So that's the first area that the book covers. On page 190, it talks about other adults. There's a level of respect that every other adult deserves from you. Now, that doesn't mean you have to obey every other adult. It's okay, just put it to the side. Sometimes we get other people's books the next year. So this would definitely include authority. So can you think of any other adults in this building that we need to have the utmost of respect for?
Principal.
The principal, absolutely. Mr. May. Yeah.
Teachers.
Yes, your teachers. You guys are being very specific. So every teacher that teaches here, right, should have a greater level of respect But a level of respect nonetheless. Okay, the next one is your peers. Look around. Showing respect. Treating each other kindly, regardless of what's on the outside, right? So, yes, we want friends that are brutally honest. Don't be brutally honest with every one of your peers. Or you might not have any friends. Okay? So Tegan, how can you show me respect right now?
Listening.
Yes, listening, good. How can you, Ella, how can you show Chloe respect right now? She's your peer. Smiling at her, okay. Good. I like it. Maybe it should have been somebody in your actual direction, so you wouldn't have to turn around and smile at her, right? And then the last one is yourself. I don't know what my computer is jumping here. So your reputation is how you respect yourself. So go ahead and turn to page 192 for me. Right in the middle, there's a big square, and it says, what are some ways to develop a good reputation? Now these are for you, right? So these are for you. These are ways that you can develop a good reputation. So read that list really quickly. Somebody raise your hand and tell me one area you know you do this. You're like, you know what, I'm good at this. Bryn.
I say please and thank you.
You say please and thank you a lot?
I try.
That's wonderful. That actually will develop a good reputation. Taylor?
Keep my word.
Good. Awesome. That's excellent. Lee, did you have one?
Being friendly to everyone.
Being friendly to everyone. Look around. Look around. There are people in here that are friendly to everyone, right? And they have that reputation. You do have that reputation. Madeline, you do. That reputation precedes you.
What?
I didn't have you in class, and I said, oh, you're going to love Madeline. She loves everybody. So it does become you. Okay, listen, Proverbs 22, verse 1, we're almost done. Proverbs 22, 1 says this, a good name is to be chosen more than great riches. So we would all love some extra cash. But what this is saying is that all the money in the world doesn't matter if you have a bad reputation. So be careful of your reputation. Be truthful. Be honest. That's a good reputation. Okay, before you pack up and run away on me, look at page 193, please. I have 1 minute. Madeline, your book's not open. Page 193.
I see it.
I see it, good. Look through that really quickly. These are ways that you can show respect this week. These are just their ideas. I want you to look through, and I want you to find one thing that you can do for a member of your family tonight to show respect, because you're going to be with your family tonight. Pick one, and then I want to hear about it next time. Okay, no class next week,
Thank you.
but the next week you have a test.
Is it open? Hi, people. Okay. Thank you. I'm on professors.
I will be deleting that part. Thank goodness.
Please, okay.
Yes, yes. All right. Thank you. Did I get all of them? Were you the last one, Lucy? Lucy, do you want